What is going on, all you good-looking people? Welcome to the brand new Jonathan Dearman Show, where we come out with new videos every week talking about controversial topics and current events. And I know it may not seem like it, but these videos really do take a ton of work and research to make, especially since I'm committed to doing my very best to give you the full and accurate picture of any given topic, whether or not it supports my personal beliefs. So with that being said, make sure you show some support and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos. Also, make sure you stick around to the end of this video to hear the interesting fact of the week, which is pretty important for people to know. Lastly, on a slightly different note, my wife is just about 9 months pregnant with our son, and since I know you all so deeply care about my personal life, I'm gonna keep you updated with regards to when our beautiful baby boy is born. And man, let me tell you, I am so excited. All right, well today I wanna go over a dispute that's been going on between Parkland, Florida shooting survivor David Hogg and Fox News host Laura Ingraham. But before I go into this, I do wanna say that my heart sincerely goes out to all the victims, families, and students that were affected by this terrible, terrible shooting, and I definitely wish the best towards all of them. Alright, so Laura Ingraham has been a hot topic in the news this past week because she took a shot on Twitter at Parkland, Florida shooting survivor and now activist David Hogg. On March 28th, she tweeted, "David Hogg rejected by 4 colleges to which he applied and whines about. Dinged by UCLA with a 4.1 GPA, totally predictable given acceptance rates." Now, there are a couple things to point out here. First, although it's just a small detail, David Hogg actually has a 4.2 GPA, not a 4.1. Second, in David's defense, in the interview that Laura was referring to, although he wasn't excited about being rejected, it really didn't seem like he was whining about it.
We got rejected from UCLA, so it's been kind of annoying having to deal with that and everything else that's been going on. You know, we're changing the world. We're too busy. Right now, it's too hard to focus on that.
Are you a little surprised that schools haven't solicited you? Because beyond having a 4.2 grade point average, you are doing important things.
I'm not surprised at all, in all honesty. I think there's a lot of amazing people that don't get into college.
Well, in response to Laura's tweet, many people rushed to Hogg's defense. People like David Korn saying, "Laura, you're a parent. This is pretty deplorable." Chris Evans saying, "What is the purpose of this tweet? What is wrong with you? Are you actually proud of this? Regardless of your political beliefs and motivations, this is how you choose to present yourself? You must be so sad, angry, and scared." David Hogg also personally responded saying, "Pick a number 1 through 12, contact the company next to that number," and then went on to list 12 of Laura's top sponsors. And many people went on to retweet this and contact the sponsors David listed. And since then, CBS News has reported that 15 of Laura's sponsors have confirmed that they are now pulling their ads from her show. Companies like Jenny Craig, TripAdvisor, Johnson & Johnson, Wayfair, Expedia, and etc. Also, Hulu gave a specific statement saying, "We'd like to confirm that we are no longer advertising on Laura Ingraham's show and are monitoring all of our ad placements carefully." And clothing company Stitch Fix said, "We did not make the decision to drop our ads from the Ingraham angle lightly, but believe that it was the right thing to do after statements from the host crossed the line of decency." Well, some people have even taken it a step further, calling for her to be fired from Fox altogether. Scott Dworkin tweeting, "Laura Ingraham should be fired from Fox News. Retweet if you agree." Well, during this whole whirlwind of events, Laura actually took a vacation from her show, and some people have speculated that she might not end up coming back to Fox at all. However, Fox quickly put this theory to rest when Jack Abernethy, co-president of Fox News, told the LA Times, "We cannot and will not allow voices to be censored by agenda-driven intimidation efforts. We look forward to having Laura Ingraham back hosting her program next Monday when she returns from spring vacation with her children." So it's confirmed that she will be back hosting her show starting this Monday. Well, as sponsors were dropping out, Laura did give an apology by tweeting, "Any student should be proud of a 4.2 GPA, including David Hogg. On reflection in the spirit of Holy Week, I apologize for any upset or hurt my tweet caused him or any of the brave victims of Parkland. For the record, I believe my show was the first to feature David immediately after that horrific shooting and even noted how poised he was given the tragedy. As always, he's welcome to return to the show anytime for a productive discussion." Now, with all of that, there are some people that are coming to Laura's defense. Some people tweeting that they're going to be canceling their Hulu subscription because they dropped their ads from Laura's show. Other people like Piers Morgan tweeting, "Of course Ingraham angle should stay on the air. Absurd overreaction to a badly worded tweet for which she quickly apologized." And my personal reaction to Laura's tweet is that I do think it was over the top. I personally would have never said it, and I think it was right for her to give an apology. Now, with that being said though, I do kind of think that the overall reaction to the tweet was overblown. While while I definitely think the tweet was wrong and indecent, I don't necessarily think it should have become as big of a deal as it did. If I didn't know what her tweet said and I just read some of the responses and saw the way that her sponsors are dropping out, I would have assumed that she said something much more offensive or did some name calling or something like that. Not just that she said something rude and insensitive. But I want to pass the question off to you. Do you think this whole thing was overblown, or do you think she fully deserved the reaction that she got? Let me know in the comments. Well, in continuation, David Hogg went on to respond to the apology that Laura gave in a CNN interview.
All we're trying to do here is save lives. And when people try to distract, like Laura's trying to do right now, from what the real issue here is, which is gun violence in America, it's not only sad, it's just wrong.
Do you accept her apology?
No. She's only apologizing after a third of her advertisers pulled out. She's like, oh, this leftist group is trying to take all your... She gets this really threatening tone about us that we don't have. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American issue, and as such, we have to work together.
Now, while I do understand David questioning her motives, I personally would have liked to have seen him take the high road in this scenario by accepting her apology. However, that may just be me. Now, while there are a lot of people supporting David through all of this, there are some people on the other side that are saying that he should be considered fair game to criticize and scrutinize because he's boldly chosen to step into the political arena and has made some pretty strong statements. People like Ben Shapiro tweeting, "I was Hogg's age when I started writing a syndicated column. I got hammered repeatedly, and some of it was justified. When you join the public discourse, you take on slings and arrows. That's even more true if you decide to maliciously malign your opponents, as Hogg has." Some also have called David hypocritical because in his CNN interview, he said things like, "She really gets this threatening tone about us that we don't have, and that we, quote, have to work together," unquote. Yet he's publicly called the NRA and seemingly their members child murderers. And he's also said some other strong statements in what most people would probably consider a pretty harsh tone.
They're pathetic that want to keep killing our children. They could have blood from children spattered all over their faces and they wouldn't take action because they'll still see those dollar signs. Well, at this point, it's like when your old parents like, I don't know how to send an iMessage, and you're just like, give me the phone, and you take it and you're like, okay, let me handle it, and you get it done in 1 second. Sadly, that's what we have to do with our government because our parents don't know how to use democracy, so we have to. It just makes me think what sick are out there that want to continue to sell more guns, murder more children, and honestly just get reelected. What type of person are you when you want to see more money than children's lives? What type of person does that? With Rick Scott, it's like, when I get elected to Senate, we're not going to let that happen.
Wow. So my takeaway from this whole situation is this. Again, I think that Laura Ingraham's tweet was over the top and never should have been said. On the other side of things though, I do think it's a valid point to say that while we all have compassion on these kids for the terrible tragedy that they went through, they can't have immunity from being criticized if they choose to step into the political arena, especially when they make strong and malicious statements against people who disagree with them. Also, while I'm all for free speech and allowing these kids to speak their minds and be activists for whatever cause they choose to support, I do think it's a problem that certain people are giving these kids platforms and saying that we should listen to and implement the policies that they suggest as if they were adults. But then when anyone criticizes them or their policies, these same people jump in to defend them by saying, hey now, they're just kids. Now, none of this, of course, is taking away from the fact that they really have been through a lot. However, if we all want to agree that they're just kids that have gone through an awful lot and that we really shouldn't take what they say too seriously, but should just respond with grace and compassion, then okay, let's do it. But if we and they want us to take what they say seriously as if they're adults and really consider implementing their policies that would affect every American long term, then we and they have to understand that they will receive some pushback, and rightfully so. So the bottom line is this. I'm all for allowing these kids to speak and get involved in debating politically controversial issues if that's what they want to do. But I'm not all for people calling for them to be taken seriously like adults when they push their agenda, but then saying that they're just kids when anyone pushes back. Now, as always though, this is just my opinion, so let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm taking it too easy on these kids considering some of the strong accusations they've made? Or do you think I'm being too hard on them considering all that they've been through? No matter what you think, let me know in the comments, and as always, I'll be responding to all the comments that come in on this video, so have at it. But before I let you go, I want to give you the interesting fact of the week. So in the past couple of months, a lot of people have been calling for the complete ban of assault rifles, while people on the other side are saying that assault rifles are already banned. So the question is, who's right? Are assault rifles already banned or are they still legal? Well, technically, They're both right. They're both right because according to both dictionary.com and Merriam-Webster, assault rifles have two different definitions. And this is where I think some confusion comes in. The first definition is a military rifle capable of both automatic and semi-automatic fire utilizing an intermediate power cartridge. Now, by this definition, assault rifles are already banned, since guns that are capable of automatic fire are illegal. However, the second definition listed is a non-military weapon modeled on the military assault rifle, usually modified to allow only semi-automatic fire. Now, by this definition, assault rifles are not currently banned, since it's legal to purchase certain firearms that look like military assault rifles, but only allow for semi-automatic fire. Now, while I'll quickly admit I'm no gun expert, based on the dictionary definitions, I do understand why there's confusion around this topic. Also, here are a couple quick bonus facts that are good to know. First, the difference between an automatic and semi-automatic weapon is that with automatic weapons, you can hold down the trigger and the gun will continually fire. A semi-automatic weapon means that you pull the trigger once and the gun only fires once. So for the record, pretty much all guns, including handguns, are semi-automatics. And the second bonus fact is that despite what many people believe, the AR in AR-15 doesn't actually stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite rifle, which is just the name of the company that developed the original AR-15. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to show some love by hitting that subscribe button and that like button. Your support really does mean a lot. Also, make sure you check out the other videos on my channel and give them a thumbs up as well, and I will see you at the next Jonathan Dearman Show.